know why it stopped.
Uh-huh.
I asked again, just when I oh,
We're live on Facebook. Hopefully that'll last. Hello, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and this is the amazing broadcast of our show, Straight Talk. It's August 6th, and this is the 76th anniversary of the day, that fateful day, that the United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima. And our dear friend Fumi has brought together some of her friends and her partners and people actually connected to survivors of the blast. And they've been working to create peace in our world. And I'm going to turn it over briefly to my partner, Trish, to lead us in a prayer for peace. And then we're going to meet these remarkable people.
so I invite you all to close your eyes and to drop into this space and to allow breath to connect everyone in this space, in this room, everyone that you can think of, any past or present person. And as you take a nice deep breath in, creator of all that is, divine love. We're grateful for this opportunity to connect us even more deeply to our ancestors, remember the past, and to bring deep love and transformation and healing to what has happened. That we remember the people of Hiroshima and we remember what happened. And from the stories that we hear today, that we are able to walk forward in greater peace and love. We'll dissolve the imaginary lines that separate humanity. Be able to step in and really build our global family. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Trish. Fumi is someone that we've had on our show before. I did a Secret Sunday show with her. She helps get peace poles all over the world. And later on, I'll show a photo that she sent me of my peace pole, which is out in my front yard. She's doing a lot of wonderful work, including putting together a very powerful event that took place yesterday, which was the actual timing of the blast itself. Of course, in Japan, they're a day ahead. Fumi, I would love for you to introduce your guests.
Thank you so much, Scott and Trish, for inviting us all here this evening to share our personal stories and experiences around creating peace in Hiroshima and around the world. I'm so grateful to be here. And I have three friends with me here from Hiroshima. And I'm so happy to introduce to you before we begin. They're just my dear peace builders in Hiroshima, and they're just doing some phenomenal work. So let me call them up one by one. The first individual or peacemaker is Shohei Tominaga. There you are, Shohei. Would you like to say just a quick hello?
Hello,
Yes,
my
so
name
good
is
to,
Shohei Tominaga.
so good to
Hello,
see,
everyone.
so good to see you, Shohei. And all of us will be sharing later. I'd like to just introduce them to you so you get to see who each of our guests are. And then I'm sure Scott, Trish, and everyone will dive deep into several topics that we'd like to explore together. So Shohei is the coordinator and facilitator of the peace movement, May Peace Prevail on Earth peace movement in Hiroshima for a number of years now. And he organizes the annual Hiroshima Day festivities. So there's Shohei, and in the background, you will hear more about this building that's very, very famous in the background. You see, It's called the Atomic Bomb Dome. It's a peace monument we call it the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Monument, and it is a World Heritage now. So it's loved by the people and around the world as a symbol of peace, of everlasting peace, and the hopes of people all around the world for a world free of nuclear weapons. So that's the Atomic Bomb Dome. We'll hear more about that. And there you see the peace pole that Scott talked about. It's an international symbol with May Peace Prevail on Earth written in different languages. And we will talk about the peace pole in more depth later. So this is Shohei. And then next is Keiko. Keiko Nakamichi. And there she is. So
Yes.
Keiko is also, works with the Hiroshima team for many years. Uh, yeah, she's just a stellar member who is works at school. Do you work in a school, or you used to be an educator, Keiko?
Um, Not just a volunteer member of
Mm.
the activity, and now I'm working at the university, but not in Hiroshima.
Mm-hmm. She's just outside of Hiroshima now, but she used to live in Hiroshima for many, many years. She stepped away for a while, but we consider her still a member of our Hiroshima team. So happy to have you. And Keiko, and then we have Miharu. Miharu, there she is.
Yes. Hi, thank you.
Yes. There you see in the background Mount Fuji, which is
Yes,
a,
it's spring, but it's spring.
it's a hot spring there.
Y-
Oh, it's springtime.
Yes, yes,
It's springtime with the cherry blossoms. Oh,
yes.
her video's gone, but she was saying that springtime with the cherry blossoms.
Yeah, now in summertime, Mount Fuji looks black. I know, no snow, no
Yes.
snow
So
now,
that's
summer.
it's beautiful. It's such a spiritual symbol of Japan. Many people go there for their spiritual pilgrimage. So it just means a lot to the Japanese people to see that mountain. So thank you. These are the four people today that will lead the discussion, guided by Scott and Trish. And we're so honored to be here with you. So thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's great to be here. And I always like to acknowledge people in our Zoom room and in their comments. And Atira, who's one of our regulars, wrote, I was born in 1944. My parents marched for peace regarding World War II in Vietnam, and I marched when I was older. Friends in the peace movement taught me how to fold the peace crane, and my mother was a Holocaust survivor. So that's what, and her parents were part of the Peacemakers. That was a group that her parents were a part of. So welcome, and a big welcome to all the people watching, Lorna and James and Eleanor and Celeste and others. Too many of you to mention everybody by name, but please give us your thoughts and your comments. And I'm wondering if there's a particular video from yesterday that you'd like for us to show initially.
Yes, I have lined up some videos. So yesterday we did have a program online. It was called Hiroshima Nagasaki 76. It was a collaboration between US and Japan. So we had simultaneous interpretation between English and Japanese. There were over 200 Japanese guests on the line. It was just a beautiful, heartfelt event. We had videos or live talk from survivors who shared their experiences. We had a Native American blessing by Brother Phil, Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr., as you know. I think it's so important to open that program with the indigenous prayer. And he has some personal experiences connecting him and his family to Hiroshima experience. So he always opens up with such a touching prayer and blessing. And we also had 5 youth speakers who they're tremendous activists in their early 20s from various areas of the world, from India, from the Balkans, from Ukraine, from of course from Hiroshima, that talked about their activism and how the issues of nuclear weapons has affected their life and what they're doing to create a culture of peace and a world free of nuclear weapons. We have a couple of videos to share on that topic. We also have some music coming up, and the highlight of those 2 hours program was the 8:15 a.m. synchronized global meditation. That is the exact atomic moment when the first atomic bomb was dropped on the city of Hiroshima. It's a prayer that all of Hiroshima stops, and a lot of Japan stops for 1 minute of silence to offer a minute of prayer. That was such a tremendous moment, and we honor that every day, every year on Hiroshima Day. So that was one of the highlights. And the other highlight is the World Peace Flag Ceremony. And we will be showing parts of that clip. And I will explain that a little bit more before we begin. Actually, I think we should start with that one.
Okay. And I've got it queued up.
Yeah, and we have a couple of videotapes of hibakusha, of the actual survivors, in addition to the stories that Miharu and Shohei will also add to that, because they have family members who have been survivors. So let's start with the flag ceremony. To get a glimpse of the work we do, May Peace Prevail on Earth. And the flag ceremony is one of our activities that we perform around the world, not only on Hiroshima Day, but at various events and conferences. It's been held at the United Nations and various interfaith gatherings, intimate gatherings, large gatherings. So please watch this. I only selected the segment for for North and South America, the countries of North and South America. So let's watch this beautiful video.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
May peace prevail on earth.
Puisse la paix régner dans le monde.
Que la paz prevalezca en la tierra.
السلام للعالم أجمع.
Да будет мир человечеству во всем мире.
我们祝愿世界人类的和平。
世界人類が平和でありますように。
May peace be in North and Central America, Antigua and Barbuda. May peace be in Antigua and Barbuda. Bahamas. May peace be in Bahamas. Barbados. May peace be in Barbados. Belize. May peace be in Belize. Canada. May peace be in Canada. Costa Rica. May peace be in Costa Rica. Cuba. May peace be in Cuba. Dominica. May peace be in Dominica. Dominican Republic. May peace be in Dominican Republic. El Salvador. May peace be in El Salvador. Grenada. May peace be in Grenada. Guatemala. May peace be in Guatemala. Haiti. May peace be in Haiti. Honduras. May peace be in Honduras. Jamaica. May peace be in Jamaica. Mexico. May peace be in Mexico. Nicaragua. May peace be in Nicaragua. Panama. May peace be in Panama. Saint Christopher and Nevis. May peace be in Saint Christopher and Nevis. Saint Lucia. May peace be in Saint Lucia. Saint Vincent and Grenadines. May peace be in Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. Trinidad and Tobago. May peace be in Trinidad and Tobago. The United States of America. May peace be in the United States of America.
Indigenous nations. May peace be in indigenous nations. All the other regions of the world. May peace be in all the other regions of the world. Hiroshima. May peace be in Hiroshima. Nagasaki. May peace be in Nagasaki. Japan. May peace be in Japan. Three times together. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth.
What's that bring up for you, Trish?
What that brings up for me is it's really wanting to ask more about the experiences of the survivors. To name it, we live in a privileged culture here in the US. And we particularly are two privileged white people or of European descent. So the understanding that we have through the lies of our own history books is actually nothing compared to the stories that we can hear from some of our guests. And I think that's what I would love to hear, is really the true impact on families, on the culture, on your lives.
Yeah. Thank you, Trish. And yeah, let's go there in a moment. I just want to say for a moment how much I appreciated the opportunity to be reminded of all these countries, and just to slow down and whatever we covered, 25, 30 out of almost 200 countries on this planet, but to remember these countries and to take a moment to bless them, including a couple countries that I had never even heard of. And I'm 65. It's like, wow, I've never heard of that one. So that was very beautiful. Thank you. And I loved seeing the different children sometimes, adults sometimes, holding the flags. That was really touching.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your comments, Trish. And and Scott, and we will listen to some of the stories of the hibakusha. But I'd like to say that this video of the flag ceremony, we call it the World Peace Flag Ceremony for short. And like you said, Scott, normally we only showed one region of the world, but we cover all 193 countries. We go from region to region, and the whole entire full version is quite a bit longer. It's really a beautiful time to take a moment to reflect on, yes, our global family, and to think about or send peace and blessings to the sole purpose, the sole purpose of each of these countries, and to call forth the ancestors of each country and honor them, as well as all the kingdoms of life, of animals and minerals and plants and all the kingdoms. So everything is included in the prayer, but it's really to awaken the sole purpose of every country, treating them like cells of Mother Gaia in a very respectful way. And you saw the atomic bomb dome behind each of the photographs. This was an actual ceremony that took place at the annual Hiroshima Day. And if it wasn't for COVID, we would all be there on Hiroshima Day again this year. But for the past 2 years, we've had to have it online. And so we used the photographs and the images from previous ceremonies, and you could see just the expression of everyone's faces. They were so proud and honored to carry those flags on behalf of all these countries. And the love that goes into the production, and you've met the 3 people here that work on that production itself. And I wish both of you can one day be there on that day. It's just a whole day dedicated to peace, with that whole park filled with tens of thousands of people on that day from all over the world to pay respects, to the victims who suffered the atomic bomb, but to the whole world, to honor all those who suffered in violence around the world. So it's really a beautiful, beautiful Memorial Day.
Thank you for
yeah,
I
beautiful.
want to read a couple comments, and then let's play a couple of the videos.
Okay.
So Eleanor writes, "This is making for a very wonderful meditative experience. Thank you." Celeste writes, "As an Indigenous woman, I would like to thank you for including all Indigenous people." And Jim writes, "This is such a meaningful program, so important to put the past into context so that healing may expand. Thank you so much, Scott, Trish, and all the lovely angelic guests." True story follows. In 1989, this is Jim speaking, "I worked on the island of Saipan, where I learned how to fly a Cessna. And one day I flew across the channel to the island of Tinian, where the USS Indianapolis dropped off the first atomic bomb. The airport was deserted, so I taxied my plane over to the exact spot, a big rectangular pit in the tarmac, where they loaded the first bomb into the Enola Gay, the B-29 Superfortress bomber. It was a very chilling experience to think that from that spot, my plane flew, and that's where the plane flew and dropped the bomb on Hiroshima." So Jim, thank you for sharing your very direct experience. And Atira writes, "Jim's story just gave me chills." So that's thank you for weaving that in.
Thank you for that story, Jim. Wow.
Fumi, what's the next video that we should
Okay,
show?
well, Trish said she would like to hear from a survivor. So let's play Mineko Yamagata video. Mineko Yamagata. She is also a member of May Peace Prevail on Earth in Hiroshima, and she just recounts her experience of the bomb. She was only 2.5 years old, but she has, those memories from the bomb. So let's hear from her.
山形美音子です。 私は爆心地から1.5 キロのところに住んでいました。8月6日の朝早く、近所の女の子が遊びに来ました。父は窓際で下着一つでうつ伏せに寝そべって新聞を読んでおり、その周りを私たちはぐるぐる回って遊んでいました。するとピカッと光り、私たち2人はそばにあった足踏みシンに頭をつけました。気がつくと2人ともミシンの下敷きになり、立ち上がることも体を動かすこともできませんでした。左の奥を見ると母がタンスから白い布を出して父の全身に突き刺さったガラスを取っては布を巻きつけていました。また右側を見ると台所の方から火の手が上がり、父が2人を助け出してくれました。夜防空壕にいました。一晩中外は燃えていました。その中は10人ぐらいの人がいたと思います。朝になり、救護所に向かうためのトラックが来て、私たち3人も荷台に乗り込みました。あちこちの救護所に行きましたが、市内はどこもいっぱいで、私たちがたどり着いたところは郊外50キロぐらいのところの救護所でした。それから2歳半の時に、これが2歳半の時に体験した被爆の記憶です。毎年8月6日の8時15分になると、広島市ではサイレンが鳴ります。同じ市内に住んでいて亡くなられた人がいて、私たちは生かされてるんだなと思いました。亡くなられた人のために役立つことがあるといいなとその時思いました。大人になって世界中の平和を一刻一刻祈る行事が始まりました。それを聞いた時から私はこれがやりたかったんだと中から突き上げてきました。それからはいつも各国の平和を祈っています。早くみんなが平和な世界が来ることを願っています。サンキュー。よかったですか？
Wow.
Wow. So
That sure brings it home, doesn't it? Trish, I'm going to put the spotlight on you for a moment. What comes up for you?
This is why we work so hard to understand how we think. This is why we have global days of connection, of peace. Like if you're just dropping into the show, go back and watch that video. Really let that sink in, that a memory from 2.5 years old when most people can't even recall a memory, that is one that's burned into our brain for the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's what comes up.
So touching. And Scott, I have another video that might be nice to show now, because this is from a second generation survivor. So it hasn't affected just the first generation, but she's a second generation survivor, and her name is Kathleen Birkinshaw.
Got it. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, here we go.
Good evening to all of those in the United States, and good morning to those in Japan. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. I am a second generation Hibakusha, but I wasn't aware that my mom was from Hiroshima until I was 11. Yet I was aware that...
I'm going to pause. I'm not sure if that's one of our people.
No, it comes in, it's part of the video, unfortunately.
Oh, it's part of the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She had horrible nightmares that she would wake up screaming from. I wouldn't learn the horrific memories that she had in those nightmares until I was 31 years old, and I was very ill. I had been diagnosed with reflex sympathetic dystrophy, which is a chronic, progressive neurological pain disease that affects your sympathetic nervous system and your immune system. Doctors have said that my immune system deficiencies are due to the radiation that my mother was exposed to in the atomic bomb. On August 6th, 76 years ago, my mother, Toshiko Ishikawa, was outside chatting with her best friend when an ear-shattering popping noise and an intense burst of white light caused the ground to shake so much she grabbed her friend and they screamed. By the end of that day, she would have watched her beloved papa die and would lose her best friend and most of her classmates. Her home was destroyed along with all the others on her street. And within the next 5 years, she would lose all the family members that she grew up with. My mother was only 12 years old, yet old enough to remember the death and the horror that she witnessed because she relived them in her nightmares, especially in August, throughout her life until she passed away at the age of 82 in 2015. My mother lost so much that day, but she never lost her ability to love. I watched her in my childhood as she suffered through her scars of the atomic bombing, as I watched and reacted to her PTSD effects. I also live with it now, with battling reflex sympathetic dystrophy. My mom was the bravest person I will ever know, and I'm honored that she entrusted me with her stories and with her heart. And it's her love and her strength that emboldens me to push through my pain so I can continue to tell her story, that I can talk to students through my book, The Last Cherry Blossom, so that I am able to have the privilege that I've spoken with thousands of students around the world. And what they tell me, the one thing that really makes them move to action against nuclear weapons is a story about a 12-year-old little girl in Hiroshima and how easily it could be one of them, their family. So it's very important that 76 years now have passed. Technology and the way that we communicate has really changed. However, that need for human connection through our feelings and our emotions, that is timeless. So for the statistics and the treaties, which are all very important, for them to really matter, we need to keep talking about the hearts broken, the lives that were shattered, the homes and the loved ones lost, and all that lived with the scars, physical and emotional, throughout their lives. Because they need to make that connection with the humanity under those now famous mushroom clouds, so that no family ever has to go through that again. And I hope that my mom sees that what I do is out of love for her and for the family that I never got to meet. I do it for that 12-year-old little girl who lost her world in an instant, and yet she made our family's world brighter with her love. Thank you for honoring the atomic bomb victims and for keeping their stories alive. And through our work, may peace prevail on Earth.
Ooh.
Really almost speechless.
Mm-hmm.
Lorna writes, heartbreaking. In this moment, I feel ashamed to be American. Jamie Lee writes, God bless you for sharing your story. It's humbling. It is very, very, very humbling.
What I think is really important is something that she did say, is that we have to continue to share these stories. Because the further away that we get from the actual event, the less we humanize it. This is how generational trauma continues, how it expands, that it touches every generation, and it won't stop until we have created the systems that no longer allow for atomic bombs to be used. It's now that we're dissolving the aggressive, violent systems of and the ways of getting our needs met. Like we do it here first, and we do it globally. We do it within our communities, and then we expand out, right? That's something that's really important, and I'm grateful for you bringing the videos and the stories, and I'm really, really grateful for the three of you to show up. I know that it's a lot to be here and to share these stories, to educate a community and communities about your personal experience. Like that is not lost on me, and that's not lost on us here. Thank you for giving us the opportunity more, and to remember and to honor.
Thank you so much, Trish and Scott, for just witnessing this with all of us here and really honoring the legacy of all the people who told their stories. In Japan, for so many years, the stories have not been told because there was deep embarrassment. There was prejudice against these survivors. They really suffered a lot. And not until they grew up and, decades later, 50, 60 years later, they were able to tell the story. Like you heard Kathleen said, her mother didn't tell the story until she was 31 years old. So, I'm glad.
Explain that a little bit. Why would a survivor be ashamed or embarrassed? What was that?
Well, because there was stigma against them because they suffered radiation or received radiation, that their offsprings would be affected, and also basically that they were soiled. It's like unreal to think about that reality, but they didn't want to talk about it because people didn't want to employ them. It was almost considered that they were unclean.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did not know that part of it.
Yeah. So it was very difficult for them. A lot of people, even in Japan, did not disclose that they were survivors. Yeah.
This also happened in Chernobyl. This also happened with the meltdown in Chernobyl. Is that the like they were seen as like genetic, like they were again, and that the shame of surviving, there's that shame of being dirty and choosing to start families, like the shame of being around people and being, wait, I'm going to use this word, infectious or something.
That's right. Yeah.
And there is a shame of being a victim that I think runs in a lot of cultures and in a lot of families, of like, we work hard, we're strong, and to feel so powerless against something that there was no choice in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about all these things.
Yes. It's so true. So these survivors really, suffered a lot in so many ways, not only on that day, but they carried it, for many years. And I would think a majority of them did speak up toward the end. The average age of the survivors are 83 now, and many of them are becoming activists now.
Wow.
They're rising. So, bless them, and we'd like to support them as much as we can. And, Scott, I'm looking at the time, and I'd like to ask our Japanese friends to share some of their stories before we run out of time. And a couple of them do have stories about their family members who have experienced, the bomb on that day. So let's have Shohei speak about his family's connection to the bomb and recounting that experience. And he created a script, so he's going to read in English. He's going to try to, try to speak in English, which is so beautiful.
That is beautiful. Thank you, Shohei.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, my father-in-law was exposed to radiation when he was 20 years old. He was actually one of the very rare people who was exposed 2 times to the bomb in both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Bomb survivors generally don't want to talk about the atomic bomb. My father-in-law was the same. He didn't want to remember his miserable memories. Also, in the past, there was a little bit of discrimination against atomic bomb survivors, which related to the change of marriage or employment. That's why maybe many survivors didn't talk about it. When the bomb dropped on Hiroshima, my father-in-law was riding a freight car near Yokogawa Station, 1.5 miles from Ground Zero. He was a soldier at the time, and he was on the freight train heading from Hiroshima to Nagasaki. It was a quite shock, but the freight car survived the blast and it continued to head for Nagasaki. 3 days later in Nagasaki, on August 9th, he saw something like white parachute falling from the sky, and he started to approach the parachute with his colleague. It was then that the bomb dropped on the city of Nagasaki, and he became victim once again to the atomic bomb. These white parachutes were also seen in Hiroshima by several other survivors I knew. One of them was a 17-year-old student at the time, and he looked up at the sky when he heard the sound of a Boeing B-29 bomber. He was with a friend, and they both noticed 3 white objects in the blue sky and wondered what they were. As they were walking and talking, the bomb exploded. His school building was only a few miles from Ground Zero, and they both suffered severe burns on their face and upper bodies. Of course, it was a summertime. They are all almost naked, very hot day. So he roamed the city for 2 days in search of his family. According to his later investigation, these 3 white objects were parachutes equipped with scientific devices to accurately measure the power of the atomic bomb, and they seem to have fallen just before the atomic bomb was dropped. 40 years after the bomb, when he was over 60 years old, he had the courage to write about his experience of the atomic bomb in a book. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. First of all, wonderful job, Shohei. We were able to understand everything you said. So thank you for taking the time to write it out and share that story. And once again, just the fact that he experienced both Hiroshima and Nagasaki, both of those atomic bomb blasts. Wow. Wow. We're gonna a couple times we want to let people know where they can donate. What's if you can maybe put into the chat box, and I'll also put it out over Facebook. If there where people can donate to support your peace efforts, for me.
Well, we don't have a donation button or anything, but I can give my email address and have them contact me. That would be one way to do it. Host and panelist. Okay. Let me add world.
And while you're doing that, I just want to again thank everybody for being with us who's watching. And I want to acknowledge those of you that are watching the replay, because the majority of people who are going to watch this show will actually be watching the replay. And so we will still go back and take a look at comments that you might have. And whether you're watching us live or whether you're watching the replay, please share this out. Pop it in an email and send it to your friends or post it on your wall on Facebook, because it is so important for us to hear these stories and slow down and really drop in and empathize. So that's a wonderful way that anybody watching can contribute, is just by sharing this out. Thank you.
Beautiful. And Scott, maybe it's a good time to talk about why the May Peace Prevail on Earth movement, or how it was founded, because it is a movement out of Japan. It has a history of almost 70 years. It was right after, the atomic bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki failed, that a man named Masahisa Goi of Japan authored the message and prayer, "May peace prevail on earth." He was so, affected. Well, all of Japan, of course, was affected by the defeat of the war and also the dropping of the bomb. And he went very deep into a spiritual state, practiced many methods of meditation and prayer, and he received intuitively through divine guidance the message and prayer, "May peace prevail on earth." And he was asked to spread that message to the world. Often he said that Japan has a very important mission to send out a strong message of peace out to the world because of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And as you know now, there's over 200,000 peace poles with these that carry this message, and the message has indeed been embraced by millions of people around the world. So his vision has been manifested and still growing in people's hearts. So that's the founding of the May Peace Prevail on Earth movement. I think that's very significant today to talk about that. And also the founder's wife was from Hiroshima. So there's a lot of deep connections between this August 6th and August 9th to the May Peace Prevail on Earth movement.
I want to acknowledge that one of the greatest gifts I've ever received in my life was when Fumi sent me my own peace pole. This is me looking at it, when it first arrived, and it now is placed at the top of my driveway. So when people are driving by or coming into my driveway, they see it. So thank you very much, Fumi. And I've put your email address into the Facebook page as well. So people can email you and learn more about how to get a peace pole and also how to donate.
And that email is Fumi, Fumi, at worldpeace.org.
Thank you. And if you plan to peace pole, do it in memory of today, of Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and also for the global wish for world peace. for our global family and life on all planet Earth.
Jamie Lee in our Zoom room writes, it is so profound to hear your stories and how your families survived and are able to give their accounts of the bombings. Thank you, Jamie Lee. Fumi, do you want to introduce Kiko or Miharu to share this?
Yes, we're still on with stories and experiences. So why don't we ask Miharu to also tell her story and what she'd like to share, because her father was a survivor.
Thank you for calling me. My English hearing is poor. Please help me, Fumi-san. And I'll talk about my father from now. And he was exposed. Let me read subscript, please. My father was exposed 4 kilometers from the hype center. His workplace happened to be in the shadow of the small mountain and was not directly injured. And he died of lymphatic cancer at the age of 78, 10 years ago. But he had been well until then. I can imagine that the experience of the atomic bombing was a shocking experience for him. He was just 15 years old boy. Fortunately, he then got married and had a family after that. Okay. At that moment, he was in the factory of the railroad company where he worked. That morning, before work, he sat down with his knees in his arms and took a nap. After a loud roar, the factory was pitch black with black dust, smoke, and went out without knowing what had happened. He thought that something extraordinary had happened because he saw a large mushroom cloud in the direction of the center of Hiroshima. After a while, he saw a lot of burned people boarding the train like a mountain to leave Hiroshima. He jumped on the train, crazy about returning to his parents' house. Since it's a single track, there are stations where up and down trains pass each other. There he realized that he was about to return without telling his boss, and he became anxious and boarded the locomotive heading for Hiroshima again. After that, he enters the city and at the command of his boss, sees various things in the rescue work. What I feel sad about now is that a 15-year-old boy from the countryside who knows nothing about the world decides to go home and return to his boss. He must have been in the midst of horrific anxiety. ふみさん、もうちょっと話していいんですか？
いいですよ。You're doing a great job, Miharu.
頑張ります。どこ話そうかな。ですね。 People of my father's generation often said, now it's such a great development to be able to eat enough and convenient. But on the other hand, it was good in the past. I'm sure the citizens were until for reconstruction. My dad has never spoken badly about the United States. After the war, he just lived hard in the midst of economic growth. I'm sure the citizens of Hiroshima were united for reconstruction. In this way, as a good Hiroshima citizen, he overcame the atomic bombing experience and completed his life. He did really well. In this way, I can share with overseas people about peace, vibration. ふみさん助けてください。
はい。
彼のおかげで、he just ordinary citizen, a one boy. 彼のそういう人生のおかげで私があります。感謝しています。皆さんにも感謝しています。May peace prevail earth.
She said she owes her life to her father and is happy to be able to work for world peace on his behalf and on the behalf of everyone. And thank you so much. May peace prevail on earth. You're muted, Scott.
Jamie Lee writes, this is almost impossible to even imagine. Your people are brave warriors, and I greatly respect them all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shall we hear from Keiko?
Yes. Keiko.
Yes. Well, thank you for inviting us to this program. We are so honored to be here and a part of this program. Thank you so much. Actually, I don't have any relatives who experienced atomic bombing. So I'm sorry I don't have any sharing that kind of things. But however, I would like to share some of my stories or thoughts about peace or atomic bombing.
Yes, please. And I'm grateful that you don't have any relatives who suffered. So that's definitely something.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, I'd like to share how I involved in the peace activities in Hiroshima. I was born and raised in Hiroshima. We have various peace activities and educational programs at schools from young age in Hiroshima. For example, visiting the Peace Park, and we have a chance to listen to the survivors' experiences, or to visit the Peace Memorial Museum in the Peace Park, or exchange peace messages in Hiroshima schools between the schools in Hiroshima and the schools overseas. We have various kind of peace program, educational program in Hiroshima. And So gradually, I had a strong feeling and a desire that this kind of tragedy should never happen again. Our beautiful on our beautiful Mother Earth, and all lives should be respected. Yeah. So that's the beginning of my reason to engage in these peace activities. As you know, the peace balls and the stickers on the message "May peace prevail on earth." We can see everywhere in Japan, and so I was interested in the message, and my parents too. So just started to be a part of these activities. And yes, I have 3 sons, and the eldest, when my eldest son was a student of junior high school, he visited the Montessori schools in India. I think some of you know the name of the school because it is registered as the school has the largest number of students in the world, and they promoted many peace activities there, the education programs, or they had actually every year they have a world peace flag ceremony at school there. And my son visited there and made a presentation on peace and Hiroshima and atomic bombing. Yes. So my son have a privilege to do that. Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And one more thing I'd like to share about the former President Obama visit to Hiroshima 5 years ago. That's a very historic event for Hiroshima citizens, and I think also to the world. So, Fumi-san, may I
screen
share the screen and show you the pictures?
Yes. Scott, can she share screen?
Can I?
Yes, yes.
Can I share?
Share screen.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you can.
Yes, here it is. Yes, I'd like to share my thoughts on Obama's visit to Hiroshima 5 years ago. which was a turning point for many people in Hiroshima and around the world. I felt that the consciousness of people shifted from focusing on the past to creating a peaceful future. On May 27th, 2016, President Obama visited Hiroshima as a first sitting U.S. president. He delivered a speech following Prime Minister Abe of Japan. Both leaders expressed the desire to realize a world free of nuclear weapons. These statements were spoken by one leader from the only country to have used nuclear weapons, and another leader from a country who suffered the first atomic bomb. On that day, I had an online peace prayer meeting with Japanese and American friends. And then I went out to wait for Obama in front of the Peace Park. So many people were gathered to welcome him. The day before, I watched interviews with Hibakusha survivors on TV. One person said, "I don't have feelings of grudge any longer. I've overcome them. We are very grateful to Obama for his visit. I thank you very much." As you can see in this photo, Obama's meeting with Hibakushas were so touching. I feel it is our responsibility to respect the experiences of the Hibakusha survivors and continue their important peace work in their honor. And so I am committed to realizing peace on earth with peacemakers around the world.
Oh, Keiko, can I tell a story about this man?
Sure, please.
Yeah, I'll do it very quickly. This man, his name is Mr. Mori, and he during before the atomic bomb fell, there were a number of air raids in surrounding cities of Hiroshima, and many of the American planes were shot down. And so they had about 12 US POWs that lived in Hiroshima during the atomic bomb. They also passed away on that day. But that story was hidden for many, many years. Even the American government did not disclose the cause of their death to their families, that they had died by the atomic bomb. But Mr. Mori knew that because he knew about these POWs who lived in Hiroshima. So after the war, and I don't know when it was, he went and contacted the parents of each of these 12 families to inform them that their sons have perished in the bomb. He really felt that they needed to know, and it was his obligation to tell this story. So he did so, and then of course it disclosed this fact to the United States, the people of the United States, and then the government had to acknowledge that this was true, this really happened, and he had made a memorial for these POWs. So this photo is very significant because Obama is thanking him in this photo for what he did.
Wow.
Thank you, Humi-san.
Thank you so much for sharing the photo and the story.
Oh, I think she's not done yet.
Oh. Sorry. Do we have a time to share?
A few, yeah. Do we? for another?
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry,
Can I share the screen and the picture?
I'm sorry I interrupted. I thought that was a very important piece story to tell while we were watching that photograph.
Obama folded some paper cranes for us. You could tell he wholeheartedly folded these tiny cranes, beautiful cranes, with sincerity toward Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In an interview, one local lady commented that she would begin folding cranes while praying for world peace, sensing the sincere wish for peace in Obama's heart. And next picture. Sorry. The last picture, yes. As a token of gratitude for his visit, the Hiroshima World Peace members sent a peace ball with the universal message, "May peace prevail on earth," to President Obama in the White House. This prayer was founded as a response to the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And it lives in the hearts of all Japanese people. Yes. Can you explain, Fumi-san?
Right, and after this was sent, we heard that it is standing in Michelle Obama's vegetable garden.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she received it. She was the one who planted it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
I love that. Infusing the garden, infusing the food.
Someday I will try to get a photo. We don't have one yet. It would be really beautiful.
Thank you so much, Keiko. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think the reconciliation is really important, I think. Yeah, in order to achieve reconciliation at the nation and the political level, friendship and the peaceful interaction among the people at the civil level is important, I think. Yeah, and so you know, that's why I engage in these activities on grassroots. So thank you so much.
Keiko, thank you very much for being with us and for sharing that with us. I'm wondering for me if this might be a good time for us to show the song that Kristen put together.
Yes, please.
Yeah, as we can.
Yes, she took part in yesterday's program and she closed with this beautiful, lovely song dedicated to May Peace Prevail on Earth, and the people around the world dedicated and committed to creating a culture of peace.
Beautiful. And, we give thanks to Kristen for providing that. And of course, Kristen's one of our favorite people. All right, here we go. Oh, there's Keiko.
We will now close our ceremony with a special song offering by our dear friend, Christine Hoffman.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here singing for peace today on this very important day. I'm feeling that I'm going to do an improvisational song prayer, which will be born in this moment in a style that I call soul loam, Soul is light, weaving with Om, the vibration of the universe. And I like to think that we are all sending our prayers and our voices together, and I will be singing our collective song. on
What a beautiful way to the universal language of music, the universal prayer for peace. I want to thank Fumi and Shohai, Miharu, Kiko, and of course Trish, and everybody watching. All the beautiful comments that have come in, that are just people being so touched. Eleanor and Jamie Lee and everyone. Please do share this video out with people so that we can all help just take more time to think about these things. And I like the vision of hopefully I would love to someday be in Hiroshima for the ceremony. I am holding that vision. Fumi, thank you so much for all that you did to put together yesterday's show, all you did for today's show, bringing your friends. Such a honor to have all of you coming all the way from Japan to be with us. And what can I say? May peace prevail on earth. And let's all just up our prayers, upping our prayers. Thank you, everybody, and have a beautiful evening. We'll see you soon. Good night.